Hi everyone, welcome back as we decorate my friend's birthday cake. Yeah, I'm sorry I forgot to show you me crumb coating the cake. I did it late at night, so that's me filling up my piping bag and yeah, supporting my cake because I told you it's a kind of tall cake, so I support them with some straws just to give it some support because sometimes tall cakes can disappoint. So just to avoid accidents, that's what I usually do. So at this point I start decorating my cake. I usually start decorating from the top. I find it quite easy for me, but there's so many different techniques. And then using a piping bag to spread the whipping cream evenly on the sides of the cake, that's also another technique I use, but there are different techniques. So I use a smoother first, and that's what I usually feel sometimes work for me. Sometimes I might use a spatula, but at this point using a smoother. And then I have to fill in some air bubbles that were there just for it to be smooth on the side. And as you knew, I'd already decorated the cake from the top. So at this point I am just removing the excess whipped cream and ensuring that it works well. I dip my spatula in water for it to be quite smooth. Here at this point the toothpick was not coming out, so I had to look for another one. I couldn't waste a lot of time, so I use a pink gel and some toothpick just to spread some small lining of pink on the cake because I didn't want it to be too pink and not too white. So I still use my smoother to smoothen it. Yeah, and it had to have some designs, so that's what I used to make some curves on the cake. I was removing the excess from the board for it to be neat at that point. So I was checking everything. So it's time to put flowers because it was a cake that had flowers. I was making something similar to my birthday cake. So these flowers, they make a cake beautiful, but you have to be very careful because one simple mistake, you will might redo the whole process. So at this point I put a flower while checking correctly and seeing everything. So there's a flower that had not yet dried up, so I had to allow it dried up and dry it up with some serviettes for it to look well. At this point, this flower was not correctly in place, so I had to shift. And trust you me, shifting a flower after you've placed it, it's quite tricky because it just destroys the whole pattern sometimes, but sometimes it makes it better. So I added a butterfly and some silver balls on the cake just for some shiny bit of it. Yeah, so that's what I was doing, just some silver balls all over the cake, just distribute it evenly. I was still checking if there's something I need to add, and I added a purple flower on top, so just to check everything is intact and is correct. And yeah, that's the cake. Still making adjustments to make it perfect. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you.